Cool. So, I'm going to do a late night stream, apparently, because I'm consistently inconsistent. We'll start off with some easy ones. Actually, I have nothing on my list. So we'll start off with Carners. Yeah, Date Dragon. I'm all over the place lately. I do early morning streams sometimes too. But we're going to go do a quick Veneral Sathir kill. We'll see if I can rally anyone for my other dailies. I'm still kind of debating what I'm going to work on today, but Divine Stream downloading. Nice. Well, good luck. Let's go kill the captain. Let's see if we can get a legendary Vambrace Elder Spiritists. I lost I lost my faction with over there. That's a little sad. Cobalt Gaunts. Leggings of Wrath. Okay. It's a lot of Cobalt gear that I got off one Carner's clear. I think I'll probably be logging off within the next hour, but we can do something until then. Not sure what I have left for dailies, though. I think it's just Cunard Dragons and Chardock Royals. Okay. So we'll do a quick sep clear. We already did track. Okay. So we're gonna go do come to EC. Curious, if I Exodus, do I go to the... Oh, damn it, I go to the left side. I wasn't sure what side I'd go to. Okay, so off we go. Cool. Oop, I heard oh hey, but let's port first. Oh, we didn't have EXP gain on. All of our echoes are starting to struggle. But now he has the teleporter unlock. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and head up. Guess what I'll do? Is kind of just pull mobs on the way, you know, because there's fragments and might as well, right? And it gives AAs. Is a guardian worm a named? I feel like it is. Wow. That's funny. All right. Time for Talendor. Grab some other miscellaneous mobs while you run to me. And yeah. Okay. Hey Tyron, how's it going, dude? Not a lot. We're just killing some dragons for Axe to get VP access real quick. So go ahead and make sure you hail, yep. And then go ahead and grab, you can grab all the loot. And then just double check the bodies real quick. Make sure there's none that are, um, significant. All right. I'll start looting here in just a sec. These need to die first, though. What are you up to, Tyron? Oh, have you done your VP daily yet? Okay. Do you have the dragons all killed? Inhaled? Yeah, they should be account wide, I'm pretty sure. I think you already checked all these, right? Yeah. Cool. So, are you missing Gornair, Axe? Oh, grats, dude. Okay, let's go hit Gore. Yeah, Tyron, we're just killing the dragons real quick, and then we'll probably go do VP depending on Axe's timing tonight. If he can't finish it, we'll go. We could always just rush for Faradar once we get the last dragon. So Kunark, Dreadlands, and I'll group port in case you don't have the teleport destination yet. And then let's go hit up the Echo. He's right over here. So we just need to kill Gore, and then I believe he'll be flagged. Oh, I lost buffs. I have to think about the... Maybe after I kill him, I'll rebuff a little bit. Sounds good. Yeah, I'll be over there in just a sec. You mentioned needing like 300 and 500 all resists. Are you running tribute? No, I still need to do. I like, by the way, do you notice Gornair wearing the staff? That's funny. I'm gonna share that in screenshots. So if I Tim, what does it look like? Oh, it's only on old models. It's funny though. Cool. Go ahead and loot up and do your hails, and we'll just go ahead and hit up Tishan's. Ready? I think you're ready. Oops, you went to Bazaar. That's all right. I was gonna port us, but I was waiting for you to finish before I did it. No worries. Where did you run to? You gonna go check your Kunark flag with Velius right here? Might be worth it real fast. Or wait, where did you go? You don't need to, no. But you can just to verify. But it's all good. Just meet me in Skyfire. You can just port there now. Shit. Is your DZs down for Seb? No worries, dude. We can go spot check real fast if he's up in Overworld rule, you know, just in case. But let me check that real fast, then I'll go hit up. Or where is it at? Tracking on. But it sounds like you and I are going to be hitting it up, Tyron. Do you have, are you already at VP entrance, Tyron? He is not up. No worries. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and boot you, Axe, and then I'll go do it with Tyron. And then you can just easy add me after starting one, Tyron. What's your, it's like Nico. What's your name? And no worries, Axe. I think it just sucks for you. Noma. Noma. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to the group, or you can just DZ add me. Go ahead and spawn and on respawning for us, if you're there. Yo. And then I can take advantage of you running there. Okay. I got a couple buffs clicked off, but I think I'll be fine. So what's Noma? You are a Paladin Monk Berserker. Cool. Are you interested in trying to kill stuff? Like trying to solo them? I mean, you're 54. Levels do play a big impact on resists as well, so... Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can just go, we'll just DPS them, no biggie. Okay. We're gonna just bypass these. Nice, Misfit. Congrats. Is that including Augs or is that excluding Augs? Yeah, I was gonna say, Augs are a never-ending story, right? Why? I don't have log parser up, by the way. Right? How did I miss that one? Read your write-up on the Discord about CS Vecna. Great read. Yeah, I took a moment because the dude was, you know, was concerned it wasn't working right. But we obviously learned otherwise. Yeah, I've kind of shifted to getting a dual set of gear where I'm trying to do a spell damage set and an AC set. Overall, I'm happy with my AC set just because I tend to mass pull or tank bosses anymore. So I'm sitting at like 2100 AC and, you know, I feel pretty comfy. I don't feel, I feel like my damage is fine and honestly my AC is fine. I'm at 300 spell damage. I have a bit of a balanced set. I don't have maxed AC gear. I don't have Cascade on. Let me fix that.
Enraged.
Okay, we're just going to run in and kill Hoshgar at location. Because why not? So follow me. This one, you need normally a Shield of Immaculate to properly, you know, properly resist the whatchamacallit, but... What is your class combo? Oh yeah, see, you're getting hit pretty hard. Try to cure you right when he's dead.
Enraged.
There you go, you're cured. I'm just gonna loot. If you need anything, Norma, or Tyron, just say so. I'm just gonna run through. Because I don't need any of this. Okay, so you went for the Shield of Starry Nights with the double ACs, or you don't have the AC Augs yet? Because that's probably one of your best ROIs, if you can get the double ACs on there, if you can wear them with your spell damage. Because, or not with your spell damage, but like, you know what I mean? It bypasses soft cap, so... Oh, you got Rainbow's Use. Ah, okay. Yeah, so this is what I'm wearing for my shield. So that helps because shields bypass soft cap. So this is just going straight to my AC. Which is partly why I'm wearing a caster one, is because there's not really high AC non-caster that can compete with it. So. These Augs, the 30 AC Augs from VP, are caster only. However, there is like the werebone. I don't know where I have a werebone. I have a werebone somewhere. Here. These have 8 AC. So that's better than none. And they do work on secondary. Yeah. So if you're not a caster class, I'd recommend grabbing some werebones from Howling Stones and wearing those instead on your shield if you have one. Because I think that's going to be your best. Unless you can get, yeah, I think that's going to be your best. But it's kind of ironic that casters actually end up with higher AC in Kunark with shields. I'm just going to pull these a little bit. I don't like killing one by one. Even though my mana's a little low, but I can Death Bloom. Oh yeah, it feels so much better when I'm not in a full group and I actually do damage when I AE. Oh wait. That was a little dangerous. There we go. Now we're good. Thank you for the heal, by the way. Kind of underestimated them. These Frenzied Rachnors are actually a little dangerous, just heads up, because they do a Feign Death DD, and it's like 5k, and it's pretty hard to resist. AC is weird, Misfit. Basically, how you should treat AC is, you know, there's dice going on all the time, every time you're getting hit, and those dice rolls range from low damage to high damage, and you're rolling a d20 with a bias based on the level difference between you and the mob. And higher AC basically competes with the mob's offense. So if you get, I guess I need to levitate back, but whatever. If you can get high AC, you're rolling the low numbers more often, is essentially what you're doing. So it's not so much like it lowers damage taken, but it does help you survive because the low damages are actually pretty low, you know, when you roll dice. But theoretically, whenever you get hit by a mob, you're only getting hit 20 different numbers. I'm going to use Imperators. All right, we got Katana and Spike. Speaking of, I need to put something in my power slot. Yeah, so literally in the code, there's this roll where it takes the enemy's offense and it takes your mitigation stat, and your mitigation stat's impacted by your AC, among some other things. And it rolls it on a d20 function, and there's a bias based on how close you are to the enemy's mitigation versus offense. You know what I mean? Like, so like basically when you don't have good AC, the rolls are always going to be high, you know? Does the game use a lookup table for RNG? Well, in this specific case, the D20 case, it basically formulates it based on those two stats I just said, and then the damage that the mob does. And it, you can look at it in the source, but yeah, basically it's just rolling a d20. So every time you're getting hit, you're just d20 rolling. How does accuracy change? So one thing that's a little tricky with the word accuracy is there is actually two variances of it in the source code. So accuracy 1 is basically just a calculated stat that's used in like the attack formula for like on hit. or do hit or whatever it's called. And then there's the other accuracy stat that we see, that's in your stats page, which I have like 15 out of 150. This is actually I guess you can call it like a special focus stat that came in later. All these are heal amount, spell damage, accuracy, and all that. The stat accuracy impacts I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure it's just 1-to-1. You're just getting a bonus essentially. And then the other accuracy is essentially a final calculation that's done on it calculates it based on your offense, your attack, your weapon skill impacts it, just all sorts of stuff, right? And it's complicated and convoluted. At some point, I need to spin up my server and show you guys. Yeah, because P99 uses something similar, Noma. But yeah, you can treat it like a, like a little raw bonus that you can toss on there. How does accuracy change a hit versus the attack stat? I haven't done a deep dive. I can't give you like exact numbers just off the top of my head. What we could do, at some point, I'll go to my server because I'm a GM, and I can run a debug mode that actually shows you the raw stats, and then we can just toss on some miscellaneous gear and do some numbers, and we can kind of get the formulas, because THJ has not impacted the raw values of Ikeyumu too much on that regard. So it should be a relatively accurate simulation, and it'll give us better context of how should you weigh attack versus accuracy and stuff like that. That's probably the best way. I could possibly do that after we're done with VP. By the way, did you even care about the drops in the lesser mobs, or do you want to just go kill the real reason we're here and slay Faradar? Sorry, I wanted levitate, because otherwise it's a pain in the ass when we get over these. Yeah. Let's just go do PD. These mobs, they're okay. But yeah, follow me. We're going to go back. We're almost to Nexana, but whatever. Honestly, if you need anything that isn't dropping off PD, you can buy it on the bazaar for tops 500 plat. Everything's dirt because people are clearing this all the damn time. And other than just doing it, yeah, let's just go kill Fardar. I mean, yes, technically, another quick context thing for everybody. I always say this whenever I'm in VP. So this mature flame protector, it's either mature or elder. I forget which one. But flame protectors have the probability to drop the good augs, like the stat augs. So the spell damage aug and the H-Dex aug and all those drop off one of the flame protectors. And then these primevals, they can drop a variant of a lot of different augs. So this room right here, I tend to farm, if I'm in respawning, just these 5 different primeval skywings, because it's one of the easiest 5 cycles. And then if you get an onyx has a 5% chance to get a stat drop. So it's a good one. And sorry, let me ask... or let me review chat. I'm just sort of rambling while we kill. I wonder what Faradar's attack is and at what level AC should be a stopper. Yeah, I might be able to test it. VP is weird because, it got revamped. We'll have to see if I can tweak it on my server to use old school or new school and kind of, get a simulation with her. I could actually just DV spawn her because I'm pretty sure the 1.0 version is in my, my database. And but yeah, basically we'll do a simulation, and I'll try to even simulate Shin and see if we can, kind of look at how my mitigation is theoretically working and stuff. But yeah, we'll go kill Fardar here shortly. Yeah, I'll use Imperators. Yeah, so like those guys don't drop anything of interest. Pretty much you only want to care about Primeval, and you care about the Flame Protectors. Pretty much everything else is you can just bypass. Like these guys, they don't drop shit. I think they have a loot table for Augs, but it's not the good Augs, you know? You want the Primevals. And these are both trash too. They don't drop anything interesting. But then this Primeval here, he can drop some decent Augs. I'm going to just pull the final 5 here in just a sec. And then I'll double check my buffs and we'll get to the big fight. In fact, I might just bring them. You know, it's just tiring to kill one by one. Might as well blow them up a little bit. I'm not doing this buffed. You know, like I'm not burning. We'll see how bad I do. Let me actually get rage going. There we go. I got a light of life as well. Thank you. So yeah, generally speaking, you should treat AC like, you know, there's this D20 die, and the range on it's pretty high. And when you have high AC, the chances of rolling the low damage dice, like the D1s and D2s, increases, as well as the average of that. So you're just kind of rolling probabilities all the time. So, okay, let's check my buffs. Because right now, my disease and fire are at 360. Poison's at 482. Let's see if I can increase those numbers a little. So once I'm fully buffed, my lowest resist is disease at 402. And all the rest are just under 500-ish. Big bada boom. Is it gear, spells, AAs? Tribute. Yeah, so with Tribute, I'm running magic, poison. I think that's it. And then, and as far as you were asking about resists, it's 5 per rank. And I have 5 ranks. So that's giving me 25 poison resists. And then, yeah, I'm wearing like a shawl protection with Augs that have resist. You know, I'm just all over the place. Just technically, I can use an illusion to get me at. Does that get me to 25? No, I'm at like 15 HDEX. Because that should trigger my charm. But yeah, I don't have. That's 20 HDEX. Okay, so I still need 5. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and pull them. This should go pretty quick. I'm going to burn them. I guess we'll pull it back a little bit. We'll just kill the ad real fast. I put a dot on him, so I'll go for the main guy. I'll start with... Oh, I don't actually have prolonged up, so... I guess I'll work on... I'll just do a slow burn. Be more conservative. So yeah, it's slowly dying. Just keep them dotted. Here's the first wave. I'll just blow them up with manual casting. Toss on like soul wells. Oops, getting a little low. I have Imperator still up, but I just used my oop. Yeah, you're dying to the AEs. Make sure to keep yourself up if you can. I don't really have a good heal for you. I'll use Imperators here in just a sec. Here you go. I gave you half health. This is definitely a DPS check for you on how well you tank and stay alive with the stuns. I'm assuming you're getting stun resist, or stun, perma-stunned, and can't heal yourself very well. Yeah. So this is a good wake-up call on your resist. But keep in mind, too, level difference is a big thing, too. Like, you can get impacted in a pretty negative way. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blow them up. We'll see how fast this goes. Okay, some ads popped. I'm going to blow them up. Come on. There. Use another rage while I'm waiting for the burns to clean. I think the last wave just popped. Good. Let's get them killed. No, don't die. Aw, sorry, dude. I'll get you raised here in just a sec. He's almost dead.
Enraged.
Come on. Why is he not dying? You're at 0%. There. All right. Res click, and let's see what you get. Shroud of Vishan Legendary. I actually need to roll on that. I think that may be an upgrade. And then you can probably just have the... Well, do you need the Bloodstone? I don't know if I need regs. I'm trying to just go enchanted and legendary on every slot. So, do you want to ran on the cloak? I'm cool with that. And if you get it, grats, I don't care. Or are you going to keep your Cloak of Piety? Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's an upgrade for me, so if you don't mind. Because I'm wearing a White Dragon Scale Cloak, and they're very competitive. However, this does give me my 4 HDEX. That's pretty big. And I mean, I did just get more spell damage and stuff too, so it's an upgrade. I'll wear it. So, thank you, dude. Okay. I'm gonna link this real quick. So in the wiki, I have a heroic stats. It's not just me, you know, it's a collaboration, but in here, if you look at HDEX, that'll give you better context of what it does. Okay, let me hook you up. But basically what HDEX does, for me personally, is every 25 I get, which look, I'm literally 1 point away. That's hilarious. Every 25 HDEX is giving me an additional 1% chance to parry and an additional 1% chance to repost. Unfortunately, the block mechanic doesn't work unless I have block natively, which would be Monk or Beast Lord in my group. So if you have Monk or Beast Lord and you're tanky, like let's say you go Shadow Knight Monk or something, like what is Noma again? In Noma's case, if he wears or she wears a shield and has 25 HDEX, because she gets block from Monk and because she's a knight and can get shield specialist, or shield block. So if she maxes shield block and gets the 5% bonus from that, that is huge. Like these 5% bonuses basically make it where you have a 5% chance to outright evade damage. And then when you add on the native block that Monk gets, and you get 25 HDEX, what that actually ends up calculating to is that via repost, parry, and block, in her case, it gives an extra 3%. So just 25 HDEX and wearing a shield and having shield block is giving her an 8% chance to outright dodge damage just from those two things, just from 25 HDEX and this 1 AA and wearing a shield. So that's massive for tanking. Like if you're trying to avoid raw damage, the blocking mechanic on this, the blocking mechanic is level agnostic. So like with AC, there's a huge bias. Like when you fight Faradar, you're getting penalized. Your mitigation gets penalized because there's this bias where if you fight reds, you're going to get hit harder more often. But evasion systems like block, parry, repost, they don't have a level check. So when you're tanking stuff that matters, it's more important. You get what I mean? Like it's more pivotal. Yeah. So don't sleep on HDEX, especially if you have Monk and a tank in your group, and don't sleep on shields when you're tanking and it matters. The loss of DPS is likely worth it when you're, basically getting 8%, you know what I mean, chance to outright turn a full hit into 0. HDEX does not impact proc chance. That's only Dex. You can see it in my write-up. And HDEX impacts crit. Yes, HDEX does impact crit. However, the whole crit mechanic... No, wait. Crit is not included. Yeah. So normal Dex impacts crit, and normal Dex impacts proc chance, but not HDEX. I did a pretty rigorous breakdown of every single stat and then put it on the wiki. And a lot of this data is, it's relevant to all EK emu servers. So it's not just like you're learning this for THJ. You can take this knowledge and bring it to other servers. It's just more applicable to THJ because they're borrowing from future expansions with the gear. So you're getting stats that you normally can't have, right, in earlier expansions. So, knowing that 25 HDEX is pivotal doesn't really help you on a server that has no HDEX, right? Until like GOD plus. But here it matters. So anyways, well, congrats on the VP kill. It's probably a humbling experience. If I put in damage proc og and a cleric hammer, will the hammer proc its inbuilt proc less? The answer is no. I do need to do a deep dive at that some point, shocker. But essentially what happens is you can treat it like this. Whenever you have a proc and it's on your weapon, let's even look at this. We can talk about this Scimitar of Life Stealing right here, okay? This is a similar case to what you're talking about, shocker. So this has a built-in ability of Spirit Tap, and it has a proc mod of 50 on the Spirit Tap, right? But then it also has this AUG, which has a proc mod of 10, right? And so what happens is I swing my weapon, and before my weapon even lands, I roll a dice to see if proc succeeded. Once that roll of dice says, okay, a proc succeeded, it iterates your procs to find A, which one is available, and B, which one has, which one did you roll successfully on? So the first roll is going to be on Spirit Tap. It's always going to be the weapon AUG, or the weapon effect first. So like in your case with the Cleric Hammer, it's first going to try to use Hammer of the Gods. And because you have a 400 proc mod, high probability you're going to succeed with it. And the PPM on it's pretty high. And what PPM is, it's procs per minute. It's a limiter that basically makes it so you just don't proc constantly. But yeah, you're basically rolling against that. The moment the PPM is reached, the code falls back to see if there's any other proc mods on the weapon. So in this case, Blackened Lava Rock would have a chance to proc, you know what I mean, if the first one fails. So you can just treat it like that. It's a fallback mechanism. Keep in mind, too, that two-handed weapons, so like if you take your Berserker Epic, Noma, and I don't think, does Berserker Epic have a native proc on it? Because if it doesn't, can you link your Axe of Ire? Yeah, link your Axe of Ire real quick. We can talk about it. Oh, okay. But do you have your Axe of Ire as well? I thought you had one earlier. Or no, that was Axe. Did Axe hop off? Thank you, Axe. That's what I was. Sorry, we swapped, and my brain is. So let's talk about two-handers. So what's happening on this is you really should Axe put on. Axe should grab. This. Because that's going to be nice because you're kind of tanky and it's going to, you can even grab two of them. And what it'll do is on two-handers, whenever you stack mods, I hate that yours is, yeah. It's like in Noma's case, he has the Strike of Health and the Strike of Opportunity. Two-handers have a mechanism where that whole roll chance, like where there's a gate where when proc A happens, proc B does not. You can farm it in Skyfire off the red mobs near VP entrance. Low chance to drop, but probably worth it. Anyways, both of these procs are going to occur or have a chance to occur on a single swing. So two-handers were kind of boosted with the AUG mechanics to allow you to have double proc, mechanics. So basically the first two AUGs or the first two effects, either if there's a weapon proc or not, are going to trigger. Alternatively, just grab two Whirlins. But hey, Akka, how's it going, dude? I'm not so much a grinder. I just had a late night or started a late stream. Let's see. But yeah, dude, there you go. We were going to test a little bit with. Yeah, my habits are jacked, dude. By the way, hey, Dead. I haven't seen you around for a bit. We're going to hop on Jamfest and do some quick testing. I'm going to turn off my webcam for a bit. And we're going to log into Zachary and on Jamfest on a different client real quick. telling Tyron that, you know, he can hop off if he wants or whatever. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a warrior real quick and kind of simulate what I got. You know, we're going to make essentially a Shin mock. And we're going to do some testing. There you go. That makes me happy. At least if I'm in Luckland, I want. Guess who is at 60 hero charisma now? Kratz, dude. Oh, wait. I already have a Shin. Let's just do warrior. Are you have rogue in your build, right? So you're doing headshots. Or assassinates, sorry. Holy GM speed. Okay. So as you know, if we do my stats, we're going to get a bunch of data, specifically the mitigation. Right now I have 5 mitigation. And let's even test it against a rodent. What's your command for opening up your GM tools? Oh, wow. This server needs updates, by the way. But that's an interesting... Common used for various things. There's a lot of bugs in this. And then, of course, a guard is posing around. This client obviously is a bit hacked. That was kind of funny, though. I wasn't expecting that. I have a tendency to just mod my clients now as I work on Quail, and so you can expect all sorts of fun surprises as you walk around. That's just epic right there. Okay, so what we're trying to do, let's do, what is it, gear up? This is a nice command that Aka made that allows you to insta-gear your character for a level. So we're going to get a level 60 and then run gear up. And it basically gives me free gear to increase my AC up to about 769 or 796. Okay, so my mitigation right now is 317. And what we're testing is if we spawn Faradar, retribution slow. Okay, so this is the other Faradar. We want the proper Faradar. So is it this one? No. Of course, there's a bazillion Faradars. And we're just luck of the draw if we get the right one. All right, I think it's this guy. Yeah, this looks like him. So let's see if we can spawn Faradar here. I'm going to turn on GM though. And someone's blowing up my phone. I'm going to mute it for now. So we're going to do a NPC type spawn of 108048. And there's Faradar in all of his humanoid majesty. And we actually do get the pop-up. So here's Faradar's entity info. And the key thing I'm after is his offense. So you can see here, his offense is at 539. And right now my defense, which was my stats, my mitigation, I believe, is 317. So we're basically rolling dice of 317 versus his 600 and something. You know, his let's do some numbers. So 317 versus where is it at? Offense 539. Okay, so in the code, which of course I don't have open, And of course, there's a bazillion of them. I don't think I have the server up right now. Let's pop that open. By the way, if you're still hanging out, Acadius, I've been debating something. So I wanted to write a little program real fast that just lets you take the spells US file, on a client and lets you kind of browse it. It's kind of like George's tool back in the day, or even similar to like your Spire spell browser. But instead of being database driven, I wanted it to be flat file driven. I guess a question for you is, how hard do you think it would be to take like either Spire or your, you remember how you wrote the expansion switcher and you basically took the Spire stuff, put it into Fine. I think it was Fine. And then, how hard do you think it would be to take Spells US and like drag drop it into one of those browsers, like into one of those tools and let players, preview or browse through a spell file in a UI that's similar to, what Spire does for server admins? Do you think that'd be hard to convert over? That's an open question for you if you're hanging out. But, okay, so we're going to attack. Yeah, easy. I don't know if you have the time or if you'd even want to start the project. I started messing around with something real quick, but I didn't get very far. I literally spent maybe an hour. And I'm kind of simulating what Spire does, and I just wrote like a quick little app, and it would just be a Windows, form. And then I was planning to transplant some of your, Spire logic in here and maybe expand it with like MQ kind of logic. And you know what I mean? Just make a little quick tool. But it probably makes more sense just to take Spire scaffolding and copy that stuff. Yeah, just a desktop viewer. Just imagine, a little program that spins up and you just set it to spellsus.txt. And when you click on spellsus, or, once you load that file, you get this page, right? So then you can like search for, I don't know, let's say my lava rock. If you want to look up blackened lava rock, right? Or whatever, you just get this data, but it's being driven instead of by the database, just the spells US data, which, ultimately schema wise, they're like the literal same thing. Well, yes, but like the issue with Aliclone is a lot of times it's kind of slow. Like you saw my initial load up of it. Why am I having issues with this? Blackened lava rock. And you know what I mean? So then I have to go to the item because the spell effect didn't go in. It actually uses Strike of Yakesha. And you see how like partial the Aliclone is on the data of this? But if we go to yours, it's going to give us a much more readable, useful, like that it has a little bit of a pushback mechanic. How long the stun, it kind of is there for this one. It was slow before too. Like Aliclone just in general, like the queries it runs and things can be a bit slow, but that does make sense. But also, yeah, just ultimately it would be nice to kind of peruse and see deep data. Similar to what we see in our inspector, like Touch of Night. There's a lot of data in Aliclone that's kind of messed up. And I don't think Aliclone's going to be the long-term solution too. I know they're actually looking at Primetime's new project. So it's possible when Primetime's new website comes up, this spell viewer won't be as good. But I think the spell viewer would just be nice as a general tool because there's some server owners that don't like having Aliclone up. And even Spire's Guts, like if the server admin doesn't want to expose the data, the player has no way to just look at the spell data. And even though it's here, right, on every single client, you got spells US, this isn't very usable, right? But if you can parse this, make it visual and make it like human readable, it really helps with just, like a local app's going to run super fast. It doesn't have a high cost. And, I can do quick references whenever I'm looking something up, especially when the in-game data is not very good. It's nice to have, that formality. So, anyways, that's my selling point. It's totally optional. If you can whip it up real fast, that'd be awesome. If not, I'll probably trudge along on it as yet another little mini project. But I didn't think it would be a super difficult project because a lot of the scaffolding is already there with Spire. And the work you did with the expansion switcher is taking the Spire layout. So all you have to do is transplant some of the Spire logic for how you do the breakdown of spell effects and stuff. Hell, you could possibly even take the page on the spell preview and just have that render and just make this load from spells US instead of the database. Simple as that. But I don't know. I still am a bit... I struggle to go through some of your code stuff and, getting it all set up. But it could be actually a good project for me to work on again. And serializes into the same JSON format Spire has. I can hook up the components for you. Okay. Yeah, that could work. If you want to do the scaffolding for the I'm just thinking, okay, so what I'll probably do to do what you just said is I'd probably just clone your expansion switcher. Let's go to the previewer. Yeah, this is your theme preview tool, right? Lets you see all these. Even clicking your link, hit the D key. You can see what the component is taking in. Yeah. So ultimately, it's literally just taking the CSV and converting it into this map. Because what I would love to also do as a stretch goal is make this tool not just EMU exclusive, make it also work with live data, the live spell data, have a converter and at least show the data that we're aware of and, adhere to this JSON data. And the same thing with the new Larian Song client or Titanium. They usually just have more fields or less fields, but it would be nice just to write something, that's agnostic. Yeah, maybe toss a SQLite table in there. I've seen pros and cons to that memory-wise and performance-wise for doing lookups, but even a BoltDB, but nice. I didn't know about that D key. That's pretty cool. So, but anyways, that's something, it's not priority at all. It was just something I was thinking about. This tool would be cool if I could leverage it without being a dev, a server admin and having to deploy it to players. It'd be nice for players just to run a little program and get this info, from the spells US. I feel like that'd be very empowering. So anyways, let's get back into mitigation real quick. So there's a AC sum So AC sum is part of the mitigation call. I was looking at this recently. No worries. Here it is. Okay, so this is the magical roll d20. that happens during melee mitigation. This roll heavily impacts how exactly your hits are going to go. And if you look, detail attack gives us information about the rolled damage. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to grab warrior, and we're going to do find spell 3M and cast 6824 on myself and heal. Because what that does is it gives me 3 million hit points so that we can take hits and start seeing some log data. Then we're going to go to the logs list and we're going to find, man, my client is so messed up right now. Like my item links are broken. The say links are not displaying right. Look at this. Woof. Why did this display all of the... Yeah, let's do this. Depop zone. And then NPC type spawn again. Okay, so here's Faradar. And then logs list. I think these logs are actually listed in here. Ikimu docs as a logs categories. Perfect. This is what I wanted. So we want attack. So I think if we go logs set console, or no, GMSA of 4 to 3. Attack is now set to debug load level 3 for GMSA. All right. So now it's time to test how hard I'm going to get hit. This is what I was trying for all this stuff. Okay, so if we hit damage 1, well, we may have to repop or de-aggro him, but yeah. All right, so we're going to let him hit me for a little bit, and we can just look at those numbers. Heck, we're going to see how much defense increases us too. So we're just getting some parse data, and then we're going to depop. Okay, so this is going to show you some of my mitigation checks. So mitigation was 505 versus offense 526, which is interesting because we noticed that the NPC actually had a mitigation offense of 539. I wonder why it was reduced a little bit. And also, our mitigation ended up being 505. Which this says my mitigation is... Oh, okay. So this is perfect. In fact, mitigation AC, what do we get for my stats? I know ours got modded a bit. But yeah, so this 955 mitigation AC is basically being rolled against a 529. So these are very similar, mitigation and offense, and we can see what these rolls look like. So like here's a 124 and here's a 620, and you can see that the increase is pretty high. Bashes aren't a mitigation check. This is a 620, so this is the same number twice. 310 and then 124s. So the 124s are low rolls. And what's the highest rolls? It looks like it's the 2s. So the 1590. Okay. So basically, oh, here's a really low roll. This is probably the lowest it goes with my current mitigation is 1,000. So you can see this is what mitigation looks like with 800 AC against this specific mob, because that 800 AC actually turns into the mitigation AC stat and is doing the 505. And then the 505 gets rolled against whatever the enemy's offense is, which is 526, and it's going to cause a bias on your rolls, based on what you're rolling. So if we were to grab combat stability in this specific case, I'm pretty sure combat stability would not increase things too much because my base AC is so low. I'm probably hitting soft cap. Isn't it like give a 10? My help is not working, so I have to like look up commands. Iki mid docs, give a command. AA. Grant AA. Okay. Reset. Find. Set. There it is. So the command is set AA points, and we'll do like 1,000 AAs. What? All right, so I have 1,000 AAs. Apparently I have all of them assigned. Oops. That's all right. So now we have combat stability at 3. And we'll see how much that impacts. So our AC went up from 808 to 812. And my stats increased to 539. So our roll is now a little bit more even since we went from 505 to 539 with 3 points into combat stability, which is giving us a 10% increase to melee damage mitigation. What that really translates to, by the way, is closer to what we say in here. General combat stability, which is that it's not a percent, actually. This needs to be updated. I'm pretty sure I gave the word because this is just mumbo jumbo. This is actually increases the soft cap of your AC. And at max level, it increases it by 45% of your soft cap. Melee mitigation doesn't make sense. That's like a makeup term. Okay. So, yeah, Milphus, we're going to go ahead and do another Faradar test. But you can see here a little bit of the bias on this specific roll with 520. Like, this is a very close roll. So I'm thinking the rolls are going to be like back and forth. One thing that was interesting, though, is that the hits didn't quite match. Why am I crouching? Oh. Didn't quite match what Faradar was supposed to be. My theory on why is because Faradar's offense is impacted by level difference. So like 526 is changing into... No, it's 526. We're good. Yeah, so he's rolling 20 dice. And you can see, like, I think 31 is his lowest roll, which is a 0.1 on the ratio. And then his highest roll, I think, is the 2, which is the 620. So it's basically a 31 to 620 mod to his damage. And you can see there's like a pattern. Every time you're getting hit by a mob, you'll definitely notice a pattern, especially if you're not like getting transient buffs and stuff on like how hard they're hitting you for. But let's go ahead and do another hit. This is with 3 points in combat stability and a bunch of other AAs, unfortunately, but still. Let's go ahead and target Farah, do an attack, and we can just get another set of numbers. So this is a little closer to like your stats, but we'll see how much difference there is versus the first fight. So we're going to go into pop. Is log on, by the way? Oh, no, it wasn't, but that's all right. So now we can see we still get the 31, but actually we roll higher and still retain the 31, which is interesting. And the max number was 620, and you can already tell that 620 is rolling less because there's like one. Yeah, there's a significant lowering. But my mitigation is a little higher than his now. 11. I'll have to double check. Let's look at the numbers on how mitigation works here. So basically this roll is the key. You know, we get the mitigation AC and then we roll it against this roll d20, and then level difference impacts the roll as well afterwards. Some of these say offense 246. You're right. Why are they saying that? That's because, is that, interesting. Why is that? That's me attacking. No, never mind. You're right. Yeah, what's lowering the offense? Interesting. Yeah, it could be like, see, I don't actually know how combat agility works. That might be worth looking into real quick. No, it is not. Because I know I have confidence on how combat stability works because I just did a deep dive earlier today. Essentially, all combat stability does is you can see it right here. There's a soft cap that your character has based on your best class, and then you have what's called a soft cap return, and ultimately your AC limit mod is impacted by combat stability. So you're basically increasing your soft cap of AC by roughly 45%. Well, not roughly, but you are increasing it by 45% right here. And then when you're over the soft cap, it uses the over cap and times it by your returns, which is like the ratio of your AC for every point you get above your soft cap. And you will also notice in here that shield AC is just added onto your soft cap. So that means it bypasses the soft cap. So shield AC is really good. But yeah, that's the only instance of combat stability in the code. Everything else is just like, adding it, setting the property. There's nothing else that actually has a formula that leverages it. Like this is, again, just the AC soft cap increase, but this is in tune. So, but as far as his offense going down, I'm not actually sure on that one. His normal offense is 526. So the ones that say 526 are correct. We just don't know why it dropped on occasion to 246. That has to be a different mechanic, which there's a lot in this code, dude. Like attack in general, like to give a better perspective of what's going on here. When we roll mitigation with this D20, we need the hit offense. Yeah, basically the code that does melee hits and offense is a whole other can of worms I haven't deep dived yet. We are not saying that CS isn't drop anything, are we? We are confident it doesn't. And yes, that is a 53% drop. Keep in mind, I accidentally, in fact, let me make a new character real quick. Because it's super easy to, and I won't accidentally give me every AA, because I'm guessing that's what happened there, is something is giving me an AA that's doing some sort of mechanic, and I don't know which one, and it will be a pain in the ass to figure it out when I literally got all of them. So this guy's driving me nuts, by the way. I need to walk away from him. His idle Drake sound is, I can hear it. Anyways, okay, so we're back in. Let's create another character. We're going to call this one or 2 Warrior Agnostic Tutorial Go. Yeah, but I'm not going to sit here and figure out, you know, every single AA and what one is doing that. But I imagine there is one out there, and I don't even know if it's on THJ. But we're going to find out right now. If I get level 60 and I gear up and then heal and then find buff 3 million, and cast that on myself, 68, 24. Level 60. And then heal myself. Why is this not working? Oh. 68, 24. It's too powerful? Oh, it's because I'm not in GM mode. There we go. So now we have the 3 million hit points. Let's get out of this area. There we go. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we'll depop the zone, no distractions. Yeah, it's quail. I was modding stuff. The animations weren't properly re-indexed. It's an old bug. This client's kind of hacked up, but that doesn't matter for our... So we need a log set GM say for attack. So 4, 3. Okay. And then we need to NP type spawn Varadar again. Which one is it? Damn it. Did I close that one? I think it's this one. No, that's Protector. Damn it. Is it the 108048? Is that the one we have? Let's see. Yeah. So now we do a NPC type spawn of this. Okay, so now we have Faradar up. Or should. Where is he? Okay, he's just so close that I can't see him easily. Okay, so next we need to find the grant spell again. It's like set AA points for AA, and let's get like 100. Okay, so now I have 100 AA points and everything isn't spent. So all we're going to do is increase combat stability by 3, because that is exactly what we had before. Did I spawn the wrong one? We'll find out with his offense here. 588. That sounds different than the old offense, right? This is probably the wrong one. 108048. Old offense was 526. How did I spawn the wrong one? This is the problem with having so many fucking Faradars, is I don't remember which one's which. And this load time is horrible sometimes. So this guy has offense 551. So what the hell? This is the wrong. Did I maybe spawn the wrong one last time? Yeah, but we'll keep this. So this isn't technically our Faradar. This is the shittier one, the 1.0 one that actually is weaker than the one we get. But we're going to use it again because I want to see if we get that bias. Because we should again have me at 518. I was higher before, but still 518 versus 502. All right, let's see how this goes down. So let me. Well, keep in mind this database is PEQ's database. This isn't our database. And keep in mind my defense is going up. So my defense going up probably is going to impact your offense. But now notice my offense, he's only like 278 now. Like every time. And he's hitting for like crap. This is not the same Faradar. Okay, so we got more complications to this simple test. Logs. I did turn on logs for rebuild for a moment on Warrior. Let's see what, oh damn it. I literally camped out right after, so I didn't even spawn it. But that aside, let's make sure we spawn the right one and just focus on that. Because more than all those variables, let's just spawn the one that matters. Yeah. NPC type spawn. Okay. So this Faradar. Where is he? There he is. He spawns and has our Faradar. This pretty sure this is the same as ours. 225. No, see, it has 681. So they've nerfed the instance ID of 108048 compared to this one. Yeah. So this isn't fully accurate, and we don't get offense on the calculations on here. This one hits for, what's the damage range? Yeah, this one min hits for 1032, where ours min hits for 332. So this is a much stronger variation. And this one's also level 70. Well, this one's 65. So the problem is we don't have this specific version of Faradar to do an active test. So this is an actual harder Faradar. Nothing is identical to P99 Farah. And P99 closed all of their code. The database and source code, all of it is lock and key. So as far as you're concerned, P99 is its own beast and nothing is based on P99. Because, you know, P99 went through rigorously and revamped everything and did aggressive tweaks. And because it's not open source, it's not even like based on EQ. It's based on P99's formulas. And it's supposed to feel like classic EQ. But in a lot of cases, P99 actually goes overly aggressive and technically makes it harder than classic EQ. So, yeah, P99, put it in its own little category. But if it feels like P99, that's good. But you know what I mean? Iki-Emu is nice because we can quantify things. And, you know, like we can literally look at the source code and be like, okay, what are the variations going on here? But this all aside, if we just respawn the mob and let it hit us for a while, let's just look at the numbers and kind of just get some intel on how it's working. Okay. So offense is now consistently 526. And you can see the rolls. Keep in mind, I'm increasing my defense. Yeah. Be interesting to see, like, if I set all my skills, or if we even let it level up for a while, if we'll start lowering the damage taken. Another thing we can do, so we're seeing our averages right now, and it's still pretty high on the 620s, but we are getting some low numbers on occasion, right? If we start taking off gear, let's see how much it increases as we lower our AC. So now we're down to like, you know, this point, combat stability has no point. And you can see 620 is more biased. You know, we're rolling high dice often. So there's no longer like 100s anymore. And that's because my mitigation is 46 versus 526. So technically, if you can get your mitigation up to about 526-ish, I think you'll be okay against our Faradar. It's a little hard to have high confidence unless I do some sort of database finagling. But there's a chance my stats on Faradar is less or equal to this 526 offense. But again, I'm going to go ahead and exit this one. I didn't mean to stop on the server to do like super deep experimentation, because remember, like even that number that you were talking about, there's a lot going on in this code for like melee mitigation and just the whole offense defense stuff. Like, you know, there's obviously this code for the roll, but also, where's it at? If you just go up the stack to what calls this, right? There's applying a damage table based on the hit, and then you get the, this is what's actually translating the damage that was taken into the damage that it ends up being. But also, what else is going on here? Actually, I don't know if there's anything else that does raw damage mitigation reduction. I think that's kind of it. What is apply damage table though? Just curious. So if your offense is below 115, there is no damage table mod. And if you get hit for less than 2, it doesn't do anything. You roll a chance on the damage table. And you can see here, there's another mitigation. Thank you for the raid, by the way, Cheeseburger. So this is basically stating you take offense, you subtract it by a minus factor, and then you either take the base bonus divided by 2 or the max value of 10. And then you roll a dice with 0 inclusive on the base bonus, and then you add an extra percent on the max extra. Holy shit, there's a lot of complicated headaches in here. But what does get damage table look like? Okay, this is where things get weird. But yeah, thank you for the raid, dude. We're perusing EverQuest internal logic on... Oh, this is the wrong table, by the way. This is the Lua one. This is what we want. So this is your damage table based on level of the mob. Oh yeah, let's check him out. The problem with the shout out is I need to be on like... There we go. Playing some WoW. Kiting a polar bear or... GG. There you go. You're welcome. Be sure to check out Cheeseburger. It's fun to see what sort of clips he's had done. And I've rated you on occasion, I believe, Cheese, but I'm not sure how late I'm going to be rating tonight. We'll see. Anyways, that aside, we did learn a little bit of data about some of the variations going on. You've settled on Paladin, Zerker, Monk for your THJ client. Nice. Yeah, I think Tyron has the same build or something similar-ish. So that's cool. I hope you enjoy it and have fun with it. Let me check who pinged me. Someone was asking about Crit Sprinkler. Currently leveling and slowly gearing. Valorium stuff is cheap, base, and enchanted. Nice. Yeah. At this point, anything classic is going to be pretty easy pickings. Yeah, unfortunately. So technically, Tyron, if you want to know life, you can go cycle the 5 Primeval Drakes in VP. You can single pull them. It's a pretty boring camp, but you get a chance at all the really, really good hogs, just killing those over and over and over and over. And you would potentially get the Heroic Strength hog, which would technically give you more AC on any slot. And anyways, yeah, there's but that's like more rare and less fun. At least with Rare Bones, you just mass kill the zone, and you have a good probability to get one. No, Heroic Strength you can never have too much, because Heroic Strength bypasses the soft AC cap. So that 71 Heroic Strength never has the penalty like normal AC does. So you can translate all that Heroic Strength into just 71 hard AC, which is good. As well as Heroic Strength, you saw the write-up, increases attack, I believe. Now I'm concerned if I remember this right. Yeah, increases higher. Every 10 is increasing. Actually, that's not the greatest conversion rate. I don't know. Like the minimum damage is okay, but honestly, Heroic Strength is not as amazing. As some of the other heroic stats. I thought it was a 1-to-1, but I apparently misunderstood this. Because if it's 10-to-1, that means even with your 71 heroic strength, you're technically only getting 7 hard AC, which is laughable. You are increasing your strength cap though, and strength every 3 points is increasing your offense by 1, which means your chance to hit and everything is increased significantly by heroic strength. So it's not that it's a bad stat, but also every point of strength you get, which heroic strength impacts, gives you attack and attack cap increases. So technically, you can translate 71 heroic strength into essentially 71 attack, which increases your offense, which, as you know, offense increases your chance to high roll on the D20 whenever you're going against a mob's mitigation. So, yeah, as an offense melee, heroic strength is good for you. As a defensive tank, heroic strength isn't as good for you because of the 10-to-1 ratio for hard cap AC. You would actually be better off if you had 71 of, a choice of 71 heroic stat of each one. So strength is basically the attack bonuses and the hard AC. Heroic stamina is pretty good because it not only does it give you stamina, but it actually increases your maximum hit points by 10 for every point of heroic stamina. So that's like 700 and something hit points. That's basically a free hit worth of health. That's pretty significant, depending on how hard the mob hits, Heroic agility is also pretty dang good because of avoidance and dodge. Avoidance is essentially the actual chance for the mob to hit you beyond the special defensive, which is dodge. Every 25 heroic agi increases your dodge by 1%, which is also good. And because you're monk, you actually bypass the facing requirement, which is nice on that part. So heroic agi is good, but in my opinion, if you want to track any stat and like maximize it, heroic dex is amazing. Primarily because of the parry, block, and repost mechanic. Especially when you have monk or beast lord, every 25 points of heroic dex is increasing your tankiness by 3%. Plus it's increasing your dex cap. And your dex cap, every 3 points of dex is increasing your offense by 1. So you can treat dex almost like a attack modifier, because that's what ultimately all attack is doing, is increasing offense. So if we go to the server code again, and we go to attack, and then we go to offense, or let's look for the literal attack stat. What is it called? Is it like get attack? It's get ATK. So yeah, literally what attack does is it just adds it, divides it by 2, has a PC attack power scaling, which is multiplied, divided by 100. So every point of attack is actually cut in half for offense. So that means that heroic dex what was giving us offense again? Strength. That's kind of a big deal. Not a huge deal, but sorry, I'm just reading stuff. So heroic strength is causing your normal strength stat to go up, right? And then regular strength, every 3 points of it is increasing your offense by 1. So it's not quite as good as attack because it's a 3-to-1 ratio, right? Every 3 strength is 1 offense. And by the way, the first 74 points, for whatever reason, aren't impacted by this. But every point of attack that you get is increasing your offense by 2-to-1 ratio. Yes, and strength also increases your attack, which technically means if you get 3 strength, it increases your offense by 2. Because remember, attack is going to go up by 3, divide that by 2, and you get another point of offense, right? Indirectly, because the formula for attack, I know that's confusing, is being calculated for offense here. But yeah, you can see that your stat bonus for dex is also being calculated here with this weird formula, but also strength is just 1-to-1 on offense. But then with the dividers and stuff, that's why there's the divide by 3. Decimals, I believe it defaults to flooring. Yeah, rounds down. TLDR, strength and dex are important to you, and heroic strength and heroic dex are important to you. We're sort of just min-picking, min-maxing on which one's more important. But it looks like heroic strength is better for melee because it increases your offense more than heroic dex. But heroic dex is also important because it increases your melee crit chance, it increases your proc chance. If you have a special mechanic, it increases your chance to land those. Yeah. Anyways, this is why I don't dive too deep into offensive yet, is because it's convoluted and there's a lot of little numbers everywhere, right? So I will sit down and do a proper deep dive on offense soon, but I think even what we just covered is probably pretty insightful. I may have to write into game mechanics about attack, because I don't have that in here. I got like spell damage, healing amount, flurry, upgrading items, macros. I mean, there's a lot of interesting data. How dispel works, how resists work. But I do need to have attack and defense and kind of just bring up these sort of pointers. But I'm not going to deep dive it right now. But we did just learn a bunch, But anyways, yeah, because offense is really what you care about, I'm pretty sure. The min damage that heroic strength gives you as well, though, is definitely not something to sleep on. But it's a 10-to-1, which is not the greatest ratio. So in your case, your min damage is increased by roughly 7. I guess that's more important if you have like a low delay, low damage, dual wielding build. But with you going two-hander, that minimum melee damage is probably not as impactful. But the attack and offense is definitely worthwhile. Especially because strength bypasses your cap. So like if you can get ways to improve strength, like excessively, that's good. And as far as H-Dex goes, H-Dex gives you Dex, and then Dex gives you crit. And Cleave, as a mechanic, increases your crit chance, but it's based on your base crit. So Cleave is benefited the most when you start adding up all your different crit probabilities, which I should do a write-up on that. Crit is interesting because it's ultimately like this number. If we go to rule types, and we go to crit, where is it at? There we go. No, it's like melee crit. There's so many crits. Let's go melee crit difficulty. Frenzy's weird. Frenzy has a bias based on the percent of the health of the mob, by the way. But we'll go in Frenzy a little bit more here. But right here, actually, I did a write-up on game mechanics, didn't I, for Frenzy? No, that was Flurry. I need to do a run on Frenzy. There's so many things to, deep dive, and they're all got weird little quirks and stuff. But anyways, melee crit difficulty is this 8900. And a lot of the AAs that you get when you... where is that at? That's abilities. When you get like crit chance AAs, like Combat Fury, you can see that. No, I'll hop off here pretty soon. But essentially, this 8900 is what you're rolling against. And then 198, Combat Fury alone is only 198 of that. So if you technically did 8,900 divided by 198, or the other way around, you got a 0.02% increase roughly from that crit, from that AA. But all those little crit bonuses, cleave comes in as a focus effect basically after all those calculations are done. So what that translates to is if you can get as much crit as possible, and then you follow up with, also having cleave gets the best benefit from that. I think I even have the crit notes in here somewhere. Yeah. So, roughly 0.02% chance with Combat Fury maxed, but then also melee crit chance is 0.01% based on 10 dex. If you can get your dex up and all that, I don't think it's that high, honestly. It's only cleave 1, dude. I think people overestimate the usefulness of this. So while this looks good, right, the 40%, this is based on your modifier. So like, if we look at the cleave effect, so powerful non-live like option allows developers to wear warn effects that can stack on other warn effects. Oh, this is the additive system. We ignore this. This isn't what we're caring about. This doesn't work here. In fact, where's the cleave? Cleave is not, it's a spa data thing. I wish this would actually tell you the spa numbers. Well, no, it's more like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Combat Fury. Let's say that you only have crit via Combat Fury. Okay. So you've maxed Combat Fury and you have a value of 198, right? Which is giving us a 0.02% increase on crit chance, roughly, right? So if you get cleave 1, and this is your only source, like this is the value that you're modding your crit, bonus. When you get cleave 1, it takes 0.4, multiplying it, and then, you could say 1.4. So, crit chance equals times 198. So what is that? 198 times 0.4 is 277. Or if we subtract that, 277 minus 198, it's adding roughly 79. Okay? And while this sounds amazing, what this is translating to is 0.02% chance, right, is adding on another 0.0, 40% of that. So like 0.8% chance added. You see what I mean? Well, actually, it wouldn't be that low. It'd be, I think, 0.01, roughly, 50%. So it helps, but because your crit probabilities are so wonky, and it's only on items and abilities that are base things. So like, I don't think spell effects get impacted by cleave. I could be wrong on that though. It could actually. But anyways, I'm just saying that cleave is not a panacea with only 1 rank. It's useful. Don't like sleep on it, but it shouldn't be pivotal, I don't think. Yeah, exactly. It's not a super good stat, basically. Useful, yes, but not like super good. Anywho, honestly, I probably should hop off, but it was a good quick stream, couple hours. We learned a few things. I got a bunch of projects, but I'm tired. You're welcome. And these are great questions. I enjoy talking about it. For those that are curious, in the bug reports in combat stability, I did a pretty big write-up on how combat stability works for those who are interested. So could be a useful, glance. And in fact, let me put a link to that in case anyone does want to read it all. I took some time earlier, so there you go. But that aside, we're going to go ahead and start winding down. So let's go back to EQ. And yeah, again, thanks guys for watching. Hopefully soon I'll start getting my recordings more regular. But until then, we'll play it by ear. Let's find someone to raid. Though it's so late, I might just, kill the stream and not raid anyone. Because I'm the only person on THJ. Yep, have a good one, dude. And everyone else, take care. Right on, Axe. Have a good night, dude.